live?
So cute. You're so cute, honey.
Hi, am I live, you guys? Am I on here? What's up? How are you guys? So in 2 minutes, we are going to have the most amazing talent manager, Dave from Shirley Grant Management, join us for a little discussion about the biz, the showbiz biz. So we'll answer your questions. And hi, everybody. How you doing? So good to see you all. I hope everybody is feeling happy and healthy. And so I can't wait for Dave to come on now, guys. 60 seconds until Dave joins us. So we're going to talk with Dave from Shirley Grant Management about the biz, about showbiz, you guys. So it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah. Hi, what's up, y'all? I can't pronounce your names because they're long and confusing to me, but you know that I love you all. So thank you for joining tonight. So Dave's, the company that Dave works for, he's the man there. He's like the head of it. He's the real deal, this guy, Dave. He's been in the business for a super long time. I've known him forever. He's represented some of my favorite students. I love all my students, but there's Dave. Join, Dave. Ask me if you can join. How can I get you to join? How can I make you join this? Is there a way you can request that, Dave? You guys, how do I do this? You know, I'm so old. I'm too old for this. John, help. Hi, Dave. Dave, can you request to join my live? I need help. I see a little thing here. Oop. Go live with. Hold on. I think I can actually do this. Hold on. John, help me. John. That's my husband. Wait, here we go. Dave. Oh, wait. I think I did it, you guys. So I got it.
Got it. Okay, finally.
Dave, I'm such an old lady. What's up?
I couldn't figure it out either.
How are you?
Good. How is everybody?
Good. How's the whole quarantine thing treating you?
Oh, great. Fine. It's just like, aren't we all used to it?
Totally. Yes,
But,
I am.
it's slowly, it's a waterfall. It's kind of like a trickle of a waterfall back. So everybody should be excited, and we'll kind of reboot the industry. So this is a great time for new people to come into the industry also. So it's a great opportunity. So.
Hi, Maddie Pace. So Dave, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Can you just tell us briefly, like, who you are, what you do, a little bit about Shirley Grant Management?
So I'm Dave McKeown. I've been a manager for 22 years, since 1998, since I graduated college. So I started when I was one. I'm just kidding. But so it's all I know how to do. My favorite thing is to find new faces to develop and represent. And that's what I've been doing for all these years. And, I go all the way back to the Jonas Brothers, and, our company started Keisha Knight Pulliam, Dasha Polanco on Orange is the New Black, Devin Druid on 13 Reasons Why, Tyler Alvarez on Netflix's American Vandal, Meg Donnelly on American Housewife. Oh God, there's too many like American stuff. So like that's, and they're all clients that I started, and they all started in showcases, and and places like a Class Act and everything. So that's my most favorite thing to do, is just to find the new faces that have that commitment and really show that creativity and that thinking outside the box and the drive to be really like wanting to like start from nowhere in the industry until there. I'm not the type of manager that takes on, people with heavy resumes. I start new faces, and that's why I enjoy doing what I do. So. And that's why I like going and seeing Class Act showcases also. So.
Yeah, we do showcases now with the quarantine. We've been able to do them online, and it's been amazing. A lot of people have gotten representation, which you wouldn't really think, given there's a pandemic going on and the industry's a little bit slower. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I know parents are asking me, of young talent, when are things going to go back to normal? When are things going to resume? Do you have an idea about that?
Well, There'll probably be a new normal for a while. There's I have productions already starting up in New York and Vancouver and Los Angeles. Even I had productions 1 to 2 months to 3 months ago in Texas and Oklahoma and Northern California. So it's there. It's gonna be like a kind of like warm up period, I think, like around Labor Day and then until Labor Day. So right now the waterfall is happening for castings, I would say. But now is really the time to kind of make sure that you have everything all set up at home.
Right.
Well, really, you really should have already, but
And you'll tell us about that. We'll talk about self
yeah.
tapes in a minute and how you can create a really nice
Yeah,
professional one.
but like the opportunities are like I've actually known I've said like a trickle for the last like month or two. There's been a trickle. It's a waterfall now. So
Cool.
and hopefully after Labor Day it's going to be like a tidal wave. So hopefully.
Okay, cool.
So
That's great to hear actually, because I was a little bit like, I don't know what's happening. I know like voiceovers are still really hot because you can do it from your home. Is that true? So have you been doing a lot of voiceover jobs with your clients?
it's been the heaviest, of course. Not in the past month. They're still there, but like it's a lot of TV, film, and they're bringing back a lot of pilots because really every pilot season was stalled.
Right.
So now it's all kind of coming back. So we're in a pilot season right now. But the voiceovers and animations, I mean, animation was running wild before all this, and it's gonna go even heavier after all this. So you have to have your home studio set up with specific mics, that you should get recommendations from whoever your representatives are about, your home studio setup for voiceover, not only to audition, but to do the booking from home.
Right.
Okay, because they're gonna have you do like everything. Like you go to a studio to record it, but now it's like you're gonna do it at home over their setup, and you have to have like certain like programs that like one's called like Source Connect, and there's other things like that. So you have to have a studio quality microphone hooked up to your PC, laptop, or smartphone, and be able to deliver the auditions, but also to be able to book and
Hmm.
do the booking at home. So
Right, right. So that's pretty cool that hasn't stalled at all. That's been active.
not at
Um,
all.
how are they going to make sets safe for actors? Like, what are they going to do to get people back?
Okay, so there's a lot of protocols that are happening, and they're governed a lot of them by the unions, the counties, the cities, the states, the lawyers, the studios, a lot of hands in the pot. It looks, I mean, for the last six months, really, almost, that's what they've been hashing out.
Right.
So that's why I think around Labor Day, it's all really kind of coming to fruition. But whenever you book a job, if you're going on set, you're gonna get your representative, your agent, your manager are gonna give you like a protocol sheet of what they are adhering to, where they're going above and beyond, whatever the city, county, state uh, protocols, or even the union protocols are. So you should be getting a protocol sheet. A lot you have to test. It's pretty easy to test. So, they'll usually pay for it. Um, Series regulars and recurrings, and even if you're doing like a day or a week or a lead on a movie, you're gonna have constant testing, and
Hmm.
that's all set up through production. And then if you do it before, sometimes they'll just like pay for the test if
Right.
if your insurance doesn't cover it.
And
So.
you have to quarantine and everything. Like I have a student who,
Hmm.
she actually met her agent at our showcase, and her show, she's the lead of a show on Disney Plus
Hmm.
called The Diary of a Future President. She's the future president. Tess Romero is her name. I don't know if you know Tess, but anyway, her show got picked up during quarantine and she's going to have to go out to California. They're even talking about, I heard, filming some things overseas, right? Where the numbers are better, like the virus isn't. Is that true? Have you heard about that?
Well, I've had, we have the Vancouver productions and I even have a New Zealand production, but we have the productions here also that are, I mean, they're go. I mean, I have like networks in New York that are a go right after Labor Day. And
Got to get everything shot in like a short amount of time, I would imagine.
yeah, yeah, like I have a client shooting a movie right now and they're shooting the movie in 3 days.
Oh,
3 days. So it's an abbreviated production period, crew, everything. The actors do their own makeup and they arrive on set and there's somebody there to say, well, adjust this and adjust that. So
wow.
it's
Doing your
so
own makeup, that would be
I
hard for
know, yeah, you
somebody.
have to, they want you to show up to set and make, it right, camera ready.
Right, right.
So, yeah.
Oh my
So
God,
my
that
client
seems like a
was
lot of
like,
fun.
I don't know how to do makeup. I was like, well, your girlfriend does. So why don't
Right.
she do it for you? So that's what he did. So,
You gotta learn. You gotta learn. So
hmm
tell us, Dave. So who are some of the actors that you work with right now that some of our folks out here might be familiar with?
uh, well, some of the ones that you might be familiar with, like I mentioned a few before, like Devin Druid, who's on 13 Reasons Why. I have Jack Messina, who's on NBC's Manifest, which is going back into production here in New York right after Labor Day. And
What about Alex, who's Dear Evan Hansen?
Alex Bunny. Well, Alex ended in Dear Evan Hansen right before all this, and I had Michael Lee Brown, who was Evan Hansen, also on there. So,
Yeah.
so my life was been Dear Evan Hansen since its like inception, and like my life was Dora the Explorer since like I graduated from college since like 1998. So, so,
Cool. Awesome.
but
So,
like I Dante Hoagland, who's on The Last OG, Alexis Swinton, who's on Emergence.
he's a student of ours. Yep.
Yeah. So
So cool.
a
So
lot of them, and productions are coming back. They're coming back, and it'll
theatrical productions, though, what do we think about those?
I know as much as everybody else
Right.
knows,
That's a
what you
tougher
read and
one.
what's out there. It's a tougher one, and so let's focus on the TV and film right now.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. So Dave, so some people might want to know things like, what's the difference between a talent manager and a talent agent? So perhaps you can demystify that for some folks out here today.
I can't because you ask 10 different people in this business, you'll get 10 different answers. So, let me just tell you how I work as a manager. And there's a lot of managers work differently, and a lot of agencies work differently. So, what I look for is I look for the career. Okay, there's in show business in this industry, there's all different types of agents. There's theatrical agents and commercial agents and voiceover agents. And some commercial agents don't do voiceovers, and some voiceovers agents don't do commercials. And there's modeling agents and there's animation agents. And so it's a whole swath of different types of agents.
Mm-hmm.
So as a manager, I try to centralize everything all in one.
Mm-hmm.
But I look for that path forward. I look for the next level for my clients. How do I get them to where they want to be in the industry?
Mm-hmm.
Some only want to do animation, and some want to be a series regular on a Netflix series, or but they don't want to be on Disney. So it's different. Depending on what they want. I look for that path forward. And there's a lot of jobs out there. Well, there were a lot of jobs out there. There was a lot of work.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean we worked on everything. We look for those next level jobs to get them to that next stage in their career. So I look at it as kind of like trying to sculpt a career. I look at all the auditions. I look at the callbacks. I look at the no callbacks.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And figure out, why is there no callbacks?
Right.
What can we do? Is there something we can adjust here? Are we doing something wrong? making sure, but also making sure everybody's having fun, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll get a cut so I can eat.
Right.
And but all in all, it's just like getting to that ultimate like career path. Because again, like if you're with like a commercial agency, if you're with an agency for commercials, that doesn't mean they're the best theatrical
Right.
agency. Or if you're a theatrical agency, that doesn't mean they have a strong commercial or voiceover department.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have my clients with different agencies if need be, and which is often the case,
Mm-hmm.
okay, depending on where we want to get them, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So
Mm-hmm. And what do you think about being a signed client versus working freelance? And do you work freelance with clients? And can you explain what freelance means for those people that might not know?
well, these days freelance is probably a lot looser than it used to be. So I mean, because you know, a lot of agencies aren't like signing, and a lot of management aren't signing right now. So that's hard to say, but we work exclusively. You know, I
Okay.
wouldn't say sign on paper, exclusive, okay?
So it's a verbal exclusive agreement?
You know, it depending on what it is. It needs to be verbal, it needs to be exclusive, but you know, it's just like we want the success for them, and you know, in turn we'll be successful too, you know. So, but we're going to always look for that path forward, whether to sign them exclusively with an agency or not, um, because there, again, there's no one
Or what
all
about with you,
powerful.
Dave, with a management company?
Hmm.
Like, do you only want to have signed clients, or
Oh,
do you
exclusive.
freelance
Only
with
no,
clients?
we don't freelance.
You don't
Exclusive
freelance.
only. Yeah.
And is that across the board with every management firm, or is it just Shirley Grant's policy?
I don't really know, but I don't think so. Now with agents, you can freelance a little bit more
Right,
with.
right, but not so much
Managers, you
with clients.
really shouldn't. You really shouldn't, and technically you really can't.
Okay,
But
right.
you know,
Managers,
it's a fluid business, you know. So
right, right. So what, okay, let me ask you something. I know you represent a lot of young talent, young emerging talent. Parents, give us a little bit of advice for the parents out there that might be listening tonight.
okay,
Like, have you, when you interview the child, when you audition the child, are you also looking at the parent?
yeah. Also, in when in-person auditions come back, also they're looking at the parents, and that's the most important. Representatives can we can handle it, you know. The casting directors cannot forward on, you know. I don't want to even say it, well, you know, a problem and to their buyers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, these days parents are more important than ever, though, you know. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were always important, of course, but
Sure.
you know, like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, a year ago, I was like, I don't want you taping them for the self-tape auditions. They have to be outside their safety zone. You are their safety zone. They have to be comfortable outside their safety zone.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always discourage the parents to tape the kids for the auditions.
Do not,
Uh, do not.
do not, and do not coach your own
These
kids.
days, how do you do that though?
Right. Yeah, it's a little difficult. Yeah.
But if that makes sense, that's I want them to be outside their safety zone, because when they're on set and when they're on auditions and when they're in producer meetings and director meetings and writer meetings, they're outside their safety zone.
Right.
So as lo as long as they're comfortable outside of that zone, that is what's going to make them comfortable on set and want and probably attract like them to like book them. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So these days it's hard to tell a parent not to self-tape
Right.
their kid for an
Right.
audition.
Right.
So you know, it's a
That's a good one though. Don't, I mean, listen, I've had some parents self-tape just for things that we do. And sometimes, like, if the parent's not an actor, right? I mean, they can kind of kill the scene pretty fast because they don't know the pacing of the
sometimes if
scene.
the parent's an actor, you know, so it's like, you know, I just want them to be able to like not not be in their everyday world. As an actor, children, adults, and everything, you have to be very aware of the world around you, okay? And you have to go outside your bubble and not live, and you have to be aware. So that's why I always say, like, audition with somebody that you don't know, okay? Or like you're not you're like every day. That's why sometimes a coach is good.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same. It doesn't need to be the same coach always,
Right.
So mix it up. But you back pre-COVID and everything, every audition is a learning experience. They're all different,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go into the auditions and expect the unexpected. So sometimes if you over rehearse, it's like you're working with your parents and you're self-taping and everything, and you're doing it over and over and over again, and you're not thinking outside the box. You're looking for perfection. Don't think about perfection. Think about connection. Connect to the character.
Right.
Where was the character before this scene? Where are they going to be after the scene?
Mm-hmm.
And by you making those choices, that's what you're showing them the understanding of the character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Kids have a tendency, I mean, actors in general, even in their 20s, I've seen this where they anticipate their next line. They've already figured out because they're
hmm
thinking so much about their lines and less about being in the moment, which is much more truthful, obviously. They're thinking ahead. They're anticipating the next line. And
yeah,
you can
yeah,
see that. And then it doesn't come off as truthful. And that's what you're really looking for, especially, well, with anything, but with on camera, especially since your frame is
yeah.
so tight.
You know, and if you over rehearse, you're it's just not showing. You have to assume they're going to see the same thing over and over and over and
Right.
over and over again.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do to stand out? What is it about this character that connects to you as an artist? Because all actors are artists.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you going to show them?
Mm-hmm.
Because I always say, don't play it safe. Take the risk,
Right.
especially now, because everything is self tapes and it's going to be probably for the rest of the year.
Right.
So, find that opportunity to take risk. They may not like the risk that you took or the
Right.
choice that you made, but they'll probably like that you're going to stand out.
That you took a risk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they say, like in casting, strong and wrong, it could be the wrong choice, but at least you've made a strong choice, right? So
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
better than playing it safe. Um, okay. So let me ask you, what is one of like the most rewarding experiences you have as a manager? Like what excites you about your job?
Um, well, I again, like it's just going back to the new faces. Like, I like to find the people, the artists, the clients that have that drive to like really want to like just go for it, and like, I mean, Broadway opening nights, I have to say, are like, I mean, those were my favorite. I hope they come back, which
Yeah.
I'm sure they will.
Yes.
But
We need that vaccine.
it's like, I don't go to all the premieres or, but it's just like seeing their name in lights, you know,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
And you played a part in helping them get there. That must be very rewarding for you.
No, but they did it, and I'm the business part of it, and so I'm just the backup. So, but
Now, what
I
do
just like seeing them, I don't care about me.
now let me ask you, Dave, okay, let's say you have an actor, you represent an actor, and they're getting really close all the time, getting the callbacks, but they're not booking the job. What is your advice to these people? What do you tell them?
Well, these days it's a lot easier because I'm not in the room for the in-person auditions when those were a thing.
Right.
Um, so, generally we'll just try to figure out why, it's such a competitive business. There's no winners or losers. It's just like sometimes you win and most of the time somebody else wins, you know?
Right.
So it's not just like, it's like, oh, what do we do? You know, it's just like, how did that audition go? What, did you learn anything? No. Or, yeah, they told me I went too fast. Or, you know, yeah, they said I didn't have an understanding of character. You know, or I'll get the feedback. But that's a class within itself, you know. Those are, an audition is an acting class, you know. You
Hmm.
walk out of every audition stronger than you were before.
Hmm.
And I always say, just look, leave it behind,
Hmm.
okay? Trust your natural instincts,
Hmm.
okay? Sometimes you're going to be your actors are a piece of a puzzle.
Hmm.
Sometimes they're going to fit and sometimes they're not going to fit.
Right.
And most of the time when you don't fit, it has
Right.
nothing to do with anything that you could
Right.
do, you know?
Right.
So I always say kind of just like leave it behind. If there's something like, you know, we're getting like the same feedback over and over again, we got to fix something, you know?
Right.
Uh, you know, or also if like we're not getting them in, you know, on opportunities, like what's wrong? You know, we don't
Right.
have the right headshots. They
Right.
have some reel on their like Actors Access website that's just like, what is that doing there? That's not going to show them anything, you know.
Right.
I usually don't like to have singing reels on their Actors Access profiles and everything.
You don't?
Be- I don't like
Tell me
that.
why. Why?
Because then you've already auditioned and you're not going in the room.
Oh,
And how it's a little harder to sing over video than it is in person, right?
right. Interesting. So what do
So
you tell them to put on the
I
Actors Access? What do you say to put on there?
real it has to be real footage. It can't be auditions or monologues or anything.
It
It has
can't
to
be a
be real.
demo reel like you doing a monologue or you doing a scene or you doing a commercial.
I
No,
don't like that. I don't
you
like
don't.
personally again, like ask the difference between an agent and a
Right.
manager. Ask 10 different people in this business the
Right.
same question, you're going to get 10 different answers. I
Right.
don't like it.
Right.
I want, you know, I can get my clients in, but they have to sell themselves. Like,
Right.
this is not, I don't need to have like a fake audition or a fake demo reel. Real footage, yes, you know,
Right.
something that's aired, you know, but I don't like it. And
Okay.
some do and some don't. So I don't think it does much though.
Now, what about people who want to meet you, Dave? Like, what do you on your website do you say what you like to get as a submission? And how do you find young actors or actors in general?
Uh, Generally, I do mostly only showcases, and I do referrals only by clients or, you know, coaches and studios.
Hmm.
Um, you know, if you're going to submit to agents or managers, send some video.
Right.
Send
So do
video.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Hmm.
that case, it's different.
In that case, it's different. When I'm submitting to casting directors and I have like a client on their Actors Access, they have like, this is my monologue and this is my I don't send it.
Hmm. 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 So, okay, so, and you don't have on your website, like, this is what you can submit to Shirley Grant Management, send in a headshot and resume. It's only showcases and referrals.
No, you can submit. Right now, I'm not looking at anything until after Labor Day, but
Right, right.
but yeah, I would just suggest that anywhere anybody submits to, you send a very good, you know, picture. It doesn't have to be a professional headshot. Like I
Right,
said,
right,
I like, I like, you know, I like raw, I like new and everything. Maybe a little resume or a cover letter, you know.
hmm,
Um, and then, you know, if they sing on the ukulele or the guitar or something, send like a 1 minute clip
right,
or send like a 1 minute clip of something they've done or offer up like I can do a monologue or any sides you want also. So
hmm. So just make the offer that you can do that. But that's
yeah.
you specifically, and
If you submit to a representative, I would send a singing clip. And you're a singer, I would send a singing clip though.
16 bars, 32 bars, how long?
16 to 32.
16 to 32. You'll watch a 32.
Yeah,
It's a
and if you
ballad.
play guitar or piano, send that. We like to be entertained, stand out. So
Special skills is very important. So Dave, how do you make a professional now? Because everything is self tapes. I mean, this was always self tapes even prior to
it
COVID.
was,
A
yeah.
lot of the world was self tapes. But people could go to people like me and to my studio to get a nice self tape made, which was more professional, with the professional reader to help them and coach them a little bit, who's not the parent. But now you're doing it from home for real, and you have to edit it yourself and the whole 9 yards. So Dave, what are your suggestions for making a great professional homemade self-tape?
You should have a ring light. Does everybody know what a ring light is?
I need one of those. Tell us about it. It's that halo.
Everybody it's like a little round light. Just go on Amazon. They're on sale today.
Awesome.
I'm not getting a cut of it or anything. But you need a ring light with a little tripod for your smartphones, because all you need is your smartphone. I mean, you can use like real, like actual cameras, but definitely have a ring light, because usually you're lit from over here or you're lit from over here.
Right.
Okay. And it's shining down, but a ring light brings the light. I'm not lit by a ring light right now.
Right.
But it brings it right. You'll see the difference, and those are the best for self-tapes, and have a solid background. You're not, no kitty walking on the couch behind you,
No brother screaming in the background. That wouldn't be acceptable too.
No. However, in commercial world these days, if you're self-taping for commercials, which most of them are, in the commercials, they're booking real families. They've been doing it for like 2 months.
Yes.
Don't shoot your commercial self-tapes like it's like a TV or film self-tape. Shoot it in your house. Let them see your kitchen. Let them see your living room. Because generally you're going to be shooting your whole family. I just booked a father and daughter on a McDonald's commercial today.
Oh,
so
cool.
They shot it in their car, So commercial self-tapes, you have to run with it, and everybody can edit these days. Everybody knows how to do it. And if the parents don't know how to do it, the kids know how to do it.
Right.
So you have to be able to do these really creative self-tapes for the commercials. And then for TV and film, solid background, not like me, like that picture shouldn't be there. But I'm not an actor, so.
Were you ever an actor, Dave? Did you ever study acting?
No,
What?
never. I worked in theater. I worked in theater and opera and everything all my life, though. So stage management, production, sets, lighting, and everything. So I've been around actors since.
So you've always had a passion for it, but you didn't want to be on the stage yourself.
No, but I was a stage manager for many years, so I worked with actors all the time. So I did the New York Grand Opera for 8 years in Central Park, building huge sets and everything. So I did La Traviata like 8 times. I still don't know what it's about. So.
Wait, do you remember that really cool modern opera that the student that you met at my showcase, Griffin Reese, was in? It was about Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah, it was I had both of the kids in that. That's right.
That was amazing. And bam. Yeah. Oh wait, who else was in that? Was he the only one? It was the only kid.
Well, I had somebody else in it.
So
long ago.
So long ago. I know, I'm dating myself now. All right. So when should people consider changing representation? When is it like, okay, this relationship has come to its natural conclusion?
Okay, so these days, I would probably, it's harder to say.
Okay.
Let's
say in normal times. Let's pretend we're in normal times. When do you know the relationship?
It depends if you're contracted or not, and it also depends on like what the activity is. It's generally pretty easy to figure out what the activity is out there.
Okay.
I would say. I've heard. I'm not on the outside, I'm on the inside.
Do you get upset when people break up with you, when they say, you know what, this isn't working, and will that be, or you don't care? You don't care. Okay, so because parents I know are always very concerned about, like, if I switch, am I going to be ruining my chances in the industry? And I'm like, there's plenty of other fish in the sea,
If you switch representations like once, like okay. If
Right,
you're switching representation, like
right.
I don't, no, it's not good. That word's gonna get around. So
You know what? An agent, Barbara Coleman of Innovative, once said to me, she said, Jess, how many actors are actually ever happy with their representation? Show me an actor that's happy with their representation. And I think she just meant that everybody always feels like, why did I get seen for that job? Why wasn't I sent out? And sometimes the actor doesn't know if they're being submitted, right? You could have submitted them, you could have pushed for them, but
yeah,
maybe casting didn't think you were right for it, so they didn't pick up on you. So I feel that there's
yeah.
always this.
Remember, casting gets instructions too. They want to like give like new faces, like and to get like think outside the box, but they're also get like instructions of what to look for too. So it all depends. But I've worked with Barbara for 22 years, so
She's awesome. Yes,
she's like my goddess of like showbiz. So
she is.
you
She
know,
is the best.
so
Yeah, great agent and good advice. I think for actors to not always be comparing and contrasting to their friends, because you may look nothing like your friend or be
no,
nothing like your friend just because you're
no.
both
Everybody,
well.
like, remember I said everybody's a puzzle piece.
Right,
We're all different,
right.
you know.
And I know from when I
And
worked in casting, we used to change it up. We used to, like, one day Pepsi's looking for, a redheaded 12-year-old girl who ice skates, and the next day it's a boy who's African American who plays basketball. And it's like you never know that as the actor. So,
I just went that through that today with E-Trade. So
oh really? Hey, it's pretty cool that you booked two actors on one commercial, though. That's good for you.
I know, father and daughter, but like I said, these days the families have to be prepared, especially if the kids want to break into this business right now. Mom, dad, brother, sister, be ready to audition too, because they are booking real families.
I see
So,
that now. I see it all the
hmm
time on TV, all these amazing commercials that are
yeah.
in homes.
And
So,
they're shot in your home. Now they're moving to studios.
okay.
Like I would say from what I've noticed, like probably the last like week or two, they're starting to shoot in studios,
Okay. That's cool.
following protocols. Before that, they were shooting at the houses
Right.
and recording at the houses too. I even had like a voiceover studio go and bring a portable sound booth and set it up in like my client's uh, apartment in the Bronx.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so for a big Sony Pictures animated movie. So,
Wow. That's pretty cool. The technology is so advanced now that you can do a lot of these things from home, which is super cool.
yeah. So always, like I always say with auditions, just expect the unexpected. And in like the auditioning process, like the way it is now, it's just like be fluid. Be like, what do they want us to do? Okay. Like, I had to like have like girls ride on a bike today for a commercial. It's like, they have bikes, right? Yes. Okay. They're like, it's storming out right now. I was like, okay, wait till it passes. And
Okay.
so then they waited till it passed. It came in like a few minutes late. So you just be fluid, be ready to go. It's moving just as fast as it was moving before all this. And fluid, ready to go, expect the unexpected, be creative, think outside the box, don't play it safe.
Right. Should we take a few questions from some people? Because I know some people have asked some questions, but let me just go. Okay. Do you get, what's up, Nick? How are you? Love you, Nick. Miss you. Nick Volley, do you get agents for all of your clients, or do you submit yourself for some?
Do I
What do you mean, Nick, there? Do you get agents so in other words, do you work with agents all the time, or do you sometimes work on,
or directly both. We do both.
you do
We do
both?
both, but we get agents mostly for our clients.
Okay. Was it always that way, or did it change?
No, I rely on us. So,
Yes. Do
you know,
you recommend doing multiple takes for a self tape?
no.
Tell me why.
That's also like a ask 10 different people question, get to
Right.
10 different answers. Put your best foot forward unless they ask for it. I've had a few that they ask for, like, send 2 takes. Unless they ask for it, I say no.
Okay.
I say, this is my choice. I
Right.
am confident in my choice,
Right.
and present it.
And if they wanted, give you some notes, they'll give you some notes and you can retape.
Yeah, so, they ask that a lot of retapes, but I would say if you send like 2 they don't have time to watch. Think of all the tapes they watch. They
Right.
don't have time. They're not going to sit there and watch 6 or 7 minutes or 8 minutes of like
Right.
somebody's tape. They're
Right.
going to watch, like, first of all, you're going to be lucky if they last through 30 seconds.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So put your best foot forward, and this is my choice. This is why I'm confident in it. I understand this scene. I understand this character. I love this project. I love this project. I'm not wishy-washy about it. Show them your one take. So that's my view on it.
What about a slate? Like, okay, this is just a question I have for you. Sometimes actors, when we're teaching them, I notice they have a very hesitant slate. And a slate is, guys, how you introduce yourself on camera. So, hi, my name is, Jessica, blah, blah. I'm so-and-so, many years old, and I'm from New York, whatever. When you have actors sometimes that they might be stellar actors, but their slate is weak. What do you think about the slate? Is it important?
Okay. So slate, I always want my actors to put slates at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. Tell me why.
Because I want you to dive right into it. Unless they specifically ask for the slate to be at the beginning, I always say, put the slate on the end, because
Wow.
you're breaking up the energy. Just show them. Again,
we're
living in self-tape world. This is for self-tapes. Put the slate on the end unless they ask, because, okay, so I'm Dave McKeown. I'm 40 whatever years old from New Jersey, and and I'm 5'6" now.
I'm 6
So
feet too.
yeah, it's just like, okay, and then scene. So
Right.
no, go into it. Just dive right into the meat of what they want to see. They
I haven't
want to
heard that
see.
before.
So
See,
I think put it at the end.
Now let me ask you something though. They're getting it from Shirley Grant Management. They're getting it from Dave. So they're like, okay, we trust him. We know he represents really good actors. Let's say you're submitting though to a non-union project, or you don't have representation. Would you suggest doing it that way, or do you think they'll say they didn't follow the instructions? And where's their slate? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So generally, if it's a non-union project, we're talking commercial world, probably. So they'll generally, for a commercial, like, remember I was talking about before how the commercial self-tape auditions are different from, like, solid wall behind you,
Right.
shoot in your kitchen, shoot in your car, shoot in your yard, shoot
Right.
riding your bike, whatever the action is, or shoot like eating the pizza.
Right.
So it's different. So I'm finding you'll get the instructions for like a commercial, or if it's a non-union commercial or whatever, they'll say like, do this, this, and that, and side profile, show us your hands.
Right.
Because they're like eating whatever.
Right.
So again, fluidity, be flexible, expect the unexpected. I just think for like TV and film, slate at the end, go right into the meat of it.
Huh.
And then they'll get to know you, and wow, that's good.
I like that.
So,
honestly, I haven't heard that before, so that's great.
yeah, but again, sometimes they will specifically ask for the slate at the beginning. So if they do that, you do that.
Right.
So
right. You have to show them that you can follow instructions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So let's see. Any other questions? What do you recommend saying in a slate if it's not suggested? It's pretty standard. It's first name, last name, age.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where
name, age if you're under 18, or
right. If you're over 18, you don't have to say it. You could just say over 18.
Yeah, you could say over 18. And these days they really want to know where you're from. So, you
Right.
know, so
Right. Do you think though, like, if for the studios and the networks to save money, they're going to want clients to be local hires to live closer to wherever they're shooting?
right now,
Because
like
flying is
New
different.
York only wants New York.
Right. Okay. So that's true
I
that,
mean, you have, I think we have 39 states that have to quarantine in New York now.
yes,
So,
it's a huge
mhm,
list.
yeah.
Huge. Right.
So, uh, I'm not seeing as much as that in California, but, you know,
Mhm.
so you just, but just tell them where you're from. They'll work it all out. So,
Right. Can actors have more than one manager? If yes, how can this be beneficial? Well, we kind of covered that earlier, Patty, but no, you can't have more than one manager, but you can have more
you
than one agent.
could,
You
but you
could?
shouldn't. You
Oh, you
could,
should.
but you shouldn't.
Right. Because the idea behind a manager is that you're going to take a more active role in the client's life, right? You're going to
Yeah.
really nurture their career and develop them in a way that an agent might not have time to do because they have a
Hmm.
bigger client list, generally speaking, right? Or they'll give you more hand holding advice, like where to get your headshots or where to get your coaching from or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, make
Um,
sure you don't get lost in an agency.
right.
And if you get dropped from an agency, where are you going? You know,
Right. And you would help them.
let it fall on your manager. So,
Right. The manager, one of their, right, you're the conduit between the agent and the client. So, no, you don't want to have more than one manager at a time, but you might have more than one agent because, like Dave was saying earlier,
sure.
you might have your voiceover and commercial agent at one agency, but you might have your legit, meaning theater, film, and TV, at another. But you can't have two legit agents, theater, film, TV, at different agencies because that would be a conflict, right? Unless you're a freelance
Unless
client,
you're
maybe not
freelance, yeah.
signed, right? So but I used to work at a couple of talent agencies when I was much younger, and we did look at our freelance list, but of course, first we go to our signed clients because we have an allegiance to them. And then if we couldn't find what we needed from the signed client list, then we would look at our freelancers. And that's how some actors like to freelance. But I don't know what you like though, Dave. What you prefer?
Well, sometimes that's going to be more beneficial to them, you know. So, to be able to do that for actors, you know.
Danny says Dave's
For
the best
me,
actor.
it's not beneficial, but for actors, that might be kind of beneficial, especially for young adult actors. You know, you have to find a home.
Right.
You know, you have to find a home. So, and sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's hard to find a home. So sometimes that's the path that you want to take, you know, is to like freelance here, freelance there. And that's why that there's, you know, agents and managers that will show that flexibility because they also want to find those faces, those, you know, the ones that are out there, you
Right.
know.
Right. Right.
So they're
Do you-
rooting for you and, you know, also. So, and sometimes if that's going to be the path to like to do that, to like, you know, get a success story and develop a career and everything, whether it's an agent or a manager. That's why you'll find representatives that have that flexibility. Some don't, some
Mhm,
do. And then
mhm.
actors, I encourage always to find one home, but that's not going to work for everybody,
Right.
you know? So,
Dave, also, one thing that I've heard about managers, tell me if it's true for you, is that oftentimes the client has a relationship with the manager and they keep them throughout their career. Like they'll start with them when they're young and they'll stay with the same manager until they're older, until they mature into an adult. Is that something that you guys do? If you have a good relationship with an actor, you kind of stay their manager into adulthood, or do they graduate on to somebody else?
well, I don't know. Danny Flaherty, I see, is on here, and he was 10 when we started working with him, and he's how old are you now, Danny? 27. I can't ask his age anymore because it
Right,
doesn't matter to
exactly. You
me.
can't
So,
do that.
so you know, my uh, one of our associates that work with us is 27 also. We started representing her when she was 2. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, so it's just like
He said he's 27. So they stay with
I
you.
said 27. So.
Good call. Good call. Anybody else? Yes. Z. Young 22. Yes, this will be saved. He's not ashamed of his age, LOL. Um, so, all right, we've pretty much figured out what the difference is between an agent and a manager, freelance versus signed, how to do a self tape at home, voiceover equipment that you can probably ask your, I mean, do you know any mics and things like this that you would recommend people purchase?
I have a list like that I send out to our clients, that they're all on Amazon,
Right.
just home studio record. I don't even remember the names of them, but because I have it written down somewhere. So, but let me pull it up. So it's Blue Snowball, Samson Meteor, USB mics, pop filters.
Right.
Go on Amazon and you'll see all the home studio recording. Zeal Sound, microphone. So they'll give you the your home studio that you need, especially these days, and probably going forward.
Right.
So,
All right. Well, basically, we also learned about being a difficult parent and trying not to be one of those, right? And whether or not people stay with their representation. We kind of covered a lot of things. So, I mean, unless somebody has, here we go, Rosalie, how do you get an agent or a manager? What are some tips for getting into the business? So, well, we talked about how
so
Dave likes to
you
find.
have to start off by yourself, okay? Don't rely on like going right into representation. And you have to do that by having your own Actors Access account, Casting Networks account. Those are the
What
only
about
two.
backstage?
I don't
No.
I don't need that, but you have, a lot of people starting out need that, but your representatives do not need backstage.
Okay.
Actors Access is the actor's lifeline to the industry. It's the most important because the first question, if you're getting taken on for representation, is do you have an Actors Access account? So you must have an Actors Access account and also a Casting Network
And
account.
what
You
is on
you
Actors
can
Access in a
you
nutshell?
you can self-submit. You know, it's tied into the representatives, agents, and managers breakdown system, and that's what we use for submissions. So you have to have that Actors Access. You can submit on projects on there, and then you generally those are stuff that you see on there that your representatives aren't going to be working on, although sometimes there are. So you just have to have that profile, your headshots. I would say have about 3 or 4 headshots on there. Make sure they're always current. Resume is constantly updated. Profiles are constantly updated. That means like, do you play soccer? Can you dive? Can you dance? Can you do acro? Can you do
Can you speak
gymnastics?
Spanish? Right.
Yeah, languages. Sizes. Your size cards are on there. Must be always updated. Size card, size card, size card. And then, any performance reels. And again, like I said, like I don't like having like audition, like, fake audition. I'm going to call them fake auditions.
Right.
I don't like to have them on there.
Right.
Or like, they do reels and everything. It's like they act them out and everything. I don't like those either. Some do, some don't. I like to have the real footage on there, from a
If you have
co-star.
real footage. What if you don't have
Yeah.
real footage? Just a headshot and resume and your
Yeah,
information?
you could do what you can do is you could do a slate shot, which is
Okay.
like almost like a video slate, like a headshot slate on Actors Access also. So sometimes that's a good idea.
Okay.
Uh, but that's what you have to start out, and then you submit to any representation, send an email. I always say send a good picture, good resume, a good cover letter, brief, 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 brief,
Yes.
brief, brief. And
Your resume
like
shouldn't be 20 pages long, Dave.
yeah. Well, the cover letter shouldn't be
Right.
20 pages long either. So keep everything brief and quick and send a little footage if you have, send a little slate like, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. Like, introduce yourself. If you want to see more, I'll do a monologue for you.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
interested in this, and that. So,
What would you
and
put in?
let them, like, I don't tell them, like, well, I did this show in my school and this show in my school. No, let them know about you, like, outside of this business. This business is a very raw business now. You know, it's not performance. It's not about performance.
Right.
It's raw, it's real. Let
Right.
them know about you, let them know about your family, how annoying they are, and this and that, you know, real life. Bring that to
Right.
them.
Some
And I
kids are
think,
taught to be, there's my dog. Some kids are taught to be very show busy. And you can see those
mm,
kids when they come into an audition, they're hi, I'm so-and-so. And they're very performative.
no
And
over
it's,
programming, real and
yeah,
raw, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Now, Dave, so somebody asked, what would you put in a cover letter when you send one to an agent or a manager?
Again, think of it like, remember I was talking about self-tapes. Think outside the box, you know. Again, don't not I've done this and this and that. I love to sing and dance and act, sing and dance and act.
Right.
It's like, tell them about you, you know, life, your real life and everything, and what drives you, you know, and things you'd be interested in, you know, and things you're interested in outside of the business also, you know.
Right. People
It's
like
like
to know.
not like I don't want like I want to get my name in lights. Okay, yeah.
Right.
But like what else, you know?
Right. What other things are you
So you
passionate
can show your
about?
talent. Like and like I said, if you're a singer, send a singing tape, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
And Danny says, be yourself. Thanks, Danny. So, and so I'll just wrap this up. We are going to save it if people want to just refer back to it later on our IGTV. But Dave, hopefully, I think you'll maybe be at our next showcase on August 25th. We do have a big showcase coming up, and hopefully either you or someone from your office will be there.
yeah, me or Stephanie will probably be there. So
Awesome. Oh, hi, Maddie Pace. I miss you so much. I love that girl.
hey, Maddie.
You represent Maddie, and I used to work with her privately for like years. And anyway, I just got too busy and now COVID. So there you go. But she's super talented and adorable.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dave, I want to thank you so much for zooming in. You are great. And I hope that you stay healthy and safe. And
Thanks, everybody. Stay again. Like this is for some of you out there that are like delving into this industry. This is a great time to delve to go for it. So it's
why?
almost
Because
like
people have more time
it's a
on their hands.
reboot. It's a reboot. There's a reboot going on. You know, I feel it. There's a reboot.
Okay.
Uh, you know, be ready, be flexible, you know, and be fluid, you know, and get your family ready if you want to audition for commercials. So
Teach your parents how to act now. Start
yeah.
doing
But
copy.
other than that, you know, I keep it real, keep everything real. Not show busy, you
No.
know, real and raw, and think outside the box and be creative and show them your choices. Above all, it's about confidence in yourself, confidence in your choices and what you want to show them and why you want to play this role, you know? Why do you want to play the role?
Mm-hmm.
Show them that connection to it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whether it's a co-star or it's a, you know, guest star or an under five or a series regular or a lead in a film, you know. So show them that connection to the material and, you know, what think about what they're looking for and think about what they're seeing over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that'll get you to think outside the box a little bit more and have fun with it. So
Well, thank you so much, Dave, for giving us your time tonight. And hopefully I'll get to see you in person soon. But if not, maybe we'll do this again someday.
oh, we will
Cover a
definitely.
different topic.
Done. So now how do I end this?
I don't know. You
I
probably
press an X.
you press
Okay.
end or an X or something, and I
Okay.
have to save it. So that's a whole other story.
All right.
But you hang tight, and
Thanks, you too.
we'll see you
Great
soon.
to see you again, Jess. All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Bye,
Have a
everyone.
good night, guys. Bye.
Good night.
All right, guys. Now, how do I save this to my IGTV is really the question. That's what I need to know. John, husband, come here, help. It says I have 53 seconds left. 52, 51, 50. And okay, bye guys. Have a great night. Love you all.
Don't do anything. Don't touch anything.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I might still be filming us. Marital squabbles.